I didn't mean to notice it today. The silence, how it pressed against the walls and somehow against me. My name is Harold James. I'm 91 years old, and the truth is, the silence has become louder than my memories. I used to think that as long as I remembered, I wouldn't be alone, that the past would keep me company. But today, the quiet, it felt bigger than the things I tried to hold on to. I just wanted someone to know that, even if no one answers. I woke this morning to an empty apartment. The kind of empty that isn't just about space. It's the absence of footsteps, the absence of laughter, the absence of someone looking at you and expecting you to be more than what you feel like that day. Most of the furniture is old. Some of it I've had for decades. A chair near the window, a small table, books stacked in no particular order. Each object feels like a witness, quietly keeping count of the hours I've spent alone. I remember mornings when it wasn't like this, when the house stirred with voices, when someone called my name without thinking twice, when coffee wasn't made only for one. I have lived a long life, 91 years. I've worked, I've loved, I've failed, I've forgiven. And yet, the memories I hold so tightly, they sometimes feel like whispers compared to the stillness that surrounds me now. There's a photograph on the mantel. My wife, Margaret, decades ago, smiling at the camera with a kind of joy that made you think it would never fade. She's been gone for almost 30 years. I can still hear her laugh sometimes, if I close my eyes, but even that sound feels faint, like it's coming from somewhere far away. I try to talk to the past sometimes. I call out her name when the rooms are empty, not expecting an answer, not because I think she can hear me, but because it makes the silence a little less sharp. Friends have gone. Brothers, cousins, people I grew up with, people who once filled the same spaces I now occupy alone. I keep in touch with a few, but even their voices are intermittent, polite, distant, and when the phone hangs up, the quiet comes back, heavier than before. I've spent hours thinking that memory could protect me, that the recollection of those who loved me, those I loved, would be enough to keep the walls from pressing in. But memory is fragile. It fades, it blurs, it loses its color. And when the color goes, the silence becomes more distinct, more urgent, more insistent. I remember a winter night, decades ago, when Margaret and I sat by the fire, the flames reflected in her eyes. She talked about dreams we would never chase, about places we would never go, and I listened, thinking I had all the time in the world. I didn't know then that life would take her first, that the years afterward would be spent learning to inhabit rooms that held her absence as their central truth. The cost of time is strange. Not the ticking of clocks, not the calendar pages flipping. It's the way absence settles in, like dust you can't sweep away. It's the way laughter you remember can suddenly feel small, not enough to fill what's left behind. I spend mornings walking slowly through the apartment, pausing at doorways, staring out of the window, waiting for something to arrive. Not people, not news, just a sense that the world outside might connect with the one inside. And most days, it doesn't. Even now at 91, the silence has a shape. It lingers after the phone is put down. It waits in the corners. It moves with me from room to room, more patient than I could ever be, more constant than memory itself. I try to remember conversations that mattered. A neighbor's joke, a grandchild's question, a friend's voice after a long absence. They surface sometimes, but not always. And when they fade, the silence grows louder again. Some nights I sit by the window with a cup of tea I never finish, listening to the wind brushing against the building. I tell myself the quiet is a companion now, but I know it's different. It's not gentle. It doesn't comfort. It only waits. I don't know how long I have left to notice it this way. Hours, days, months. I don't try to count anymore. Counting doesn't change the fact that memory cannot fill the room, that absence cannot be undone, and yet I speak these words anyway, not because I expect anyone to answer, not because I want advice, but because even a small confession can carve a space in the quiet. Some part of me hopes that if someone is listening, anyone, they might feel it too, that they might recognize the weight of an empty room, the presence of a silence louder than anything memory can hold. Tonight I will sit with it. I will let the quiet settle around me, and I will remember what I can. The rest will wait.